Does a bit of dancing in the backfield, gets free, then quickly delivers. Second option is there. Murphy Curran wins the goal.
Welcome back to Rising High, the ultimate Dutch tournament this weekend. My name is Rachel Toshnerova and I am joined in the commentary booth by John Doherty in this almost last slot of today. We have an open game deciding between the low and middle bracket. John will tell you more about it. I am just here to announce the teams. We've got the local home team, Force Electro 2, so the second team, so to speak, of this Dutch powerhouse. And Bobsleigh is their opponent, so the winter sport name signaling the fact that this is a team composed of more than one team, or players from more than one team, from different parts. We will definitely learn more about these players as the game progresses. Nonetheless, John, do you want to talk about what is this game about? What it's going to decide? Tell us more about the system, maybe, of this tournament.
Yeah, so I think for this game, it's in the 9 to 20 bracket. So both these teams are playing basically to be in with a spot to play for 9th tomorrow. I think it was Force Electro. They started today in the rising pools, which is like the lower bracket pools, so the not power pool teams. And Force Electro have lost 2 games. This is their 3rd one, and I think Bobsleigh are 1 for 1. So again, the winner of this game gets to stay in contention for the 9th bracket tomorrow. And if you lose, you're playing a round robin for the bottom 4 spots.
Bobsleigh wasting no time and chucking it deep, knowing that the downwind direction allows for that. And as I say that, they attempt an upwind throw and it does not go as expected. And Force Electro will have a chance to go the other way. They unfortunately wasted on the first pass, disc hitting the turf again. So one more chance for Bobsleigh to open up the game with a score. They'll go around to Herberich. Through the middle into the hands of Höxtra. And this one could have maybe been saved by another receiver than the intended one, but it is the team in white who find themselves on offense again. Big backhand for the big gainer, Meda. Looking for a continuation. And he puts up a big forehand into the end zone, but unfortunately a bit too high. But a positioning game is not a bad idea in the conditions that we've been witnessing all day long. John, it's been a rough, long day. These players have had some of the most difficult weather conditions to work with all day. We've had wind, haven't we? We've had rain, haven't we? We've had a little bit of sun, but mostly it's been a frosty, frosty Wonderland, as is the theme for this year's edition. And a hand block gives Bobsleigh the shortest possible field to work with. They are right on the end zone line. And that pass collected by Meda.
Even the players on the field, I can hear them laughing from here at that one. Definitely not the
Yeah, he's called in.
definitely not the intended receiver. And just hearing all the players laughing at it is I enjoyed that. I don't even know. It might have been even some of the Electro guys laughing at that one. That just kind of sums up the wind we're talking about. They overthrow in front of the end zone and end up getting a score. I would say other than that though, Bobsleigh downwind, they've had 2 deep shots, 2 nice connected hooks, so they do look maybe the more threatening team, but it's easy to do the downwind stuff. Now we have to see how they look upwind. If they look confident here upwind, you would imagine they're strong favourites, but we haven't seen Force Electro play downwind yet. Yeah, like you're saying about the conditions, it's just been pretty terrible conditions if you're a viewer of the sport. So if you're watching at home on YouTube and you're finding it tough, it's just, I think it doesn't really matter what teams you'd be watching here this weekend, they would struggle. I've played in wind like this. I even went out and threw a few discs today, and it's tough to throw in this, so have some patience with the throwers and the drops.
Let's just put it this way. If you're watching this, you're a dedicated fan, and that's what counts. That's the people we like. If you love watching Ultimate, consider maybe becoming a patron for ULTI.TV. Loads and loads of free content and extra content put out for you. Just like, for example, next weekend, London Invite coming up with some very exciting games, World Games material, Tokai Super Team making its appearance. And in the meantime, on the field, Bobsleigh get the disc back. About a third of the field to finish off. They do decide to go backwards though to change the angle of attack, and that one is a bit too low for the liking of the intended receiver. So Force Electro pick up the disc one more time. Looking for the break side, but the marker does a good job preventing that. They try to attack from the front of the stag, but will take the pass to the far sideline, and this throw had so much power on it and too short of a distance for the receiver to be able to handle it well. So Bobsleigh activating the dump. They even have the swing continuation, but that forehand gets pushed to the ground. This time Force Electro do get to the break site. It is Yasunas who tries to find the continuation.
Really challenging conditions here. Get off any of the passes. I think we're seeing Bobsleigh looking the more likely to get the upwind as well, so they're going to be the ones you'd have to imagine are in a good position here.
Basham gets high, but so does the disc. But Snowboard get it right back. They're the ones working upwind now. Good defensive effort.
I think it's Bobsleigh in this one. It's tough to keep up with all the names, but...
Oh yeah, sorry, I was already trying to talk about the defense. Mevison this time smacking the disc to the ground. Stebbins, Dahl picking up for Force Electro. High release backhand to the break side. Van der Werf looking to get the disc off the line. This backhand is a little too high, lands out of bounds.
Yeah, it didn't look like he was going to be throwing a flick there. Always looked like it was going to be a backhand type throw. I wasn't expecting that one. Just out of the reach of the offensive player. Bobsleigh going to get another chance here to get the upwind.
They're thinking about the deep shot. Wobble on the catch, but handled well. But this upline cut.
Yeah, he had the right idea on the throw. He got low. He just didn't get enough snap on it. I think technically he looked like he was setting up the throw the right way, and
Hartmann thinking about the high forehand pass. I think he was meaning to aim it more towards the far sideline so that it would curve in to the intended receiver. Instead, it lands in the far corner of the soccer pitch, though, not even the ultimate pitch. So quite a long walk for the bobsleigh handler to bring the disc back into play. A vertical stack will not help bobsleigh this time. The disc ends up on the ground once more, and force Electro looking determined to get the disc in this time. Hartmann goes for the forehand once again, but bobsleigh defense is there, and they pick up the disc and immediately move it, and Hartmann rectifies his earlier errant throw by smacking the disc to the ground. High release backhand. Who cares who the intended receiver was as long as the possession is kept. Stebbins tries to get it to the middle, but the forehand into the wind proving a bit too difficult. Nice flick gainers by bobsleigh. They have to wait for the stack to catch up. And a deep shot goes up, but will it be too fast? Yes, it will. But good job by bobsleigh crossing the whole field. If they can get the D here, they can. They have done themselves some favors. And they keep working it nicely now in a very good position right in front of the end zone, still sticking to the middle of the pitch, and that is a lovely break by bobsleigh. That's number 55 with the score. We don't quite have all the jersey numbers with these pickup teams where they're forced to wear different jerseys to actually match with one color, but that is a break nonetheless. Great job by the team in white.
Yeah, bobsleigh looking pretty comfortable there at times, playing upwind. A bit unfortunate with one or two of their throws to not have maybe scored earlier. And I think for Force Electro, they're just going to find it very difficult for the rest of this game, because I think if you're struggling to score your downwind points in this one, there's very little chance of them scoring the upwinds. So let's hope that this game doesn't get too out of hand. With bobsleigh are going to here now look to try and get another break. And again, like I said, I think if they get another break or two early here, I think this game will be decided pretty early also.
Nice pull, landing on the sideline around the brick mark. Force Electro centering. Looks like bobsleigh is opting for match defense. Nice layout grab out of force. On the far sideline is Van den Bosch. Interception by bobsleigh. And the disc ends up on the ground, trying to get that swing off.
Yeah, short field turnover here might be one of their best chances of the game to get an upwind.
Stubbins. Centers to Högstra. And drop trying to take that disc down.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate for them there. I'm not sure they're going to get too many chances to score these upwinds. And just as I say that, maybe they get another one.
It is Maya who manages to get off that big forehand, but unfortunately out of reach of number 64, Ivo Wilms.
I think tomorrow, if he's in a final, there might be a heroic bid coming in there. I think that's the second one in this game I've seen from Bobsleigh where you've said out of reach, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe. That one I think was definitely harder than the last one. Perhaps that one was out of reach, but I feel there was a one a while ago where I thought the guy was going to just kick it instead of catching it.
But Bobsleigh get an immediate turn and a good chance to add another break to the scoreline, and they do. This time Wilms on the assist, and they go up 3-0.
Yeah, getting the downwinds, like I said, for Electro not going to get too many chances at the upwind here, and Bobsleigh well able to throw the disc. They've had some good upwind throws, so you know they can get the downwind ones. Also, we don't want to be too tough on the Force Electro here. Remember, they do have a 2 after their name in this game, so it is their club's second team. So it's a great sign that you can have a club with 2 teams at these events. Having played in Ireland with my club team, it was not always easy in a very big city to get more than one team to even show up at trainings. Getting 2 to a tournament, I think once we ever managed to get 3 teams to a tournament. So getting 2 teams, even if it's your home tournament, getting 2 teams that are here and are competitive, it's pretty impressive. So even if they struggle a bit here, it's a great shout out for their club to have 2 teams here, and they're also running the tournament and the women's team as well in the women's division. So a really big club, and yeah, like I said, they're obviously going to maybe find it a little bit tougher on a second team when you imagine most of your strongest throwers are going to be on the first team. So a good learning experience for these players also to be forced into these tough conditions.
So Force Electro with another shot. Downwind direction. They found Van den Akker on the far sideline. He gets bailed out by the main organizer, waving at the camera. It is none other than Cedric.
Great man, he's been helping us all weekend as well as organising the tournament, driving us around, personal chauffeur, so top lad, great organiser.
We wish him all the best on the pitch as well. And he gets the upline there. And the continuation in the end zone. And here he is, the man with the assist. Force Electro finally put one on the board for themselves.
And we finally didn't jinx someone. We finally didn't jinx someone. Every positive thing we've said today has immediately been ruined. But this man deserves it. He's running the tournament. He's playing. He's looking after us. He's making sure our son has babysitters when he's passed out asleep. He's doing a good job here, and nice to see him there.
And his last name is Mulman.
Oh yes.
We don't have him on our roster, but we do have him in our WhatsApp chat.
Yeah, so nice to see him there. And I think that throw there, that was a very nice throw over the defender there in an upline cut. So I think it's a clear sign that maybe he would normally be playing maybe on a first team if he wasn't doing so much already this weekend. Maybe he's getting limited chances to even play this weekend. So good to see him out there making sure the tournament's being run well and also getting involved. So jack of all trades. And now he's turning into coach on the sideline. I can see all his players listening to him as well. So fearless leader.
So finally a chance for the Force Electro D-line to put their skills to test. Snowboard, not afraid to lose yards. And a wobble on the disc. It is saved, luckily. Nice inside, offhand, backhand, continuation through the break side. They've got Another person heading deep, but that shot didn't go as planned. So a slow pickup to allow his teammates some rest before the final part of this point. The wind quite calm right now, so a good time to get the more assertive throws in, and they do with another score and another. This was not a break actually, no. Bobsleigh started on offense, so eventually they reel it in.
Yeah, funny that you say that was a calm point. I still feel like it was pretty windy there, but that's the kind of day it's been here at the fields. It's just been wind, wind, wind. So anytime it drops down, you feel like, okay, this is an opportunity where we can see some good stuff and not be sure of a turnover or some crazy throw that gets caught by the wind. So nice to see them taking advantage of that little moment of pause in the breeze, shall we say, and slot in their downwind. So again, Force Electro now going to see if they can knock in a second downwind. Train shot. We're getting our train shot. Cameraman is very excited to see the trains. Big fan of the trains.
Bobsleigh pulling towards the far sideline. Force Electro with Möllmann opening up this next point. They are jamming it down the jam hole on the far sideline. Looking for those upline cuts. Now they finally managed to center it. Lots of pointing happening. Oh, and great defensive effort by Bobsleigh. Basham proving himself useful not just on the offensive line, but also getting some Ds. Big backhand defended by Möllmann, making sure that the layout bid.
Not in my house, he says.
Not in my house, that's right. So Force Electro, another chance. And a wobble on the catch by Van den Werf. I'm desperately trying to bring up the Bobsleigh roster on my screen so that I can give you a few more names. In the meantime, they progress nicely towards the halfway line. Handlers resetting, and that forehand a little too bladey, even though it wasn't really bladey at all, but so low and pushed down by the wind as well.
Yeah, I think that one just a bit of a technique issue rather than the wind. I think just the angle it came out of. Need to get lower when you're throwing into this wind. Something you learn early in your career when you're growing up in Ireland playing the sport. It's just sometimes just getting low on these throws. Lots of snap is the key to throwing upwind. When you're throwing downwind, you got to put more spin on it just to get them to stick.
Here's Cedric once again finding his teammate down the near sideline. That was a visionary put among the handlers. Möllmann. Oh, tries to go through the break side again, but this time it's denied. We see a nice clap of hands.
1-1 in that matchup now in this point.
That might have been Lee Chris with the defense for Bobsleigh. And Hutchenreiter now gets the disc again for on the upline pass. And look at that! Bosman with the score. He is all over the pitch defensively and offensively. And that's another break for Bobsleigh.
Yeah, again, once you can see, once they get that little bit of momentum, their timing is pretty good. Their throws, when they're not under immense pressure, they're able to put those throws into the space upwind, and it's just a bit tough for the Force Electro team to be able to deal with it. So I think maybe if I'm Force Electro here, what I need to do is just kind of almost to some extent the basics on the defense and almost over exaggerate them. So on the Force, just everyone, you always hear the expression trust the Force, and I think they just need to maybe take a few steps more off their players. Even on the Force, take a few steps further back to make the breaks harder, and then you can just protect the open side space a bit more on the unders. I think that would be what I would try and do if I was them. Just get on a solid Force and protect that space right in front of the disc. And if the other team can dump and swing, or they can break you and then throw hooks or something like that, then you just accept they can score. But when you're in the 9 to 20 bracket, I think you have to just try and say, hey, look, let's just take away the super easy options, so nothing upline, stuff like that, and then just make it harder for the other team. So
let's see if the teams can take your advice on board for this throw. Oh, that is a nice save by Yesha Lemot. And unfortunately, it will not bring much joy to the Dutch team as the disc finds itself on the ground once more.
yeah, I thought maybe that one was a strip. It looked like he was winding up to throw it. And then on this one, player got a slap in the hand. So I think the last turnover, I'm not sure if he was trying to throw it. I guess he was, but maybe he didn't understand that if he's pivoting or throwing a fake and the defender blocks it out of his hands, he can get it back. But I guess it wasn't that.
Burgel with an accepted foul on him. Picks up the discs for Bobsleigh, and that forehand will also result in a turnover and another chance for Force Electro to prove that they can score upwind as well. Not too many options downfield, and that one was a Hail Mary, but it wasn't that bad at all, but the receiver unable to handle it. That's a good put by Bobsleigh. Minninger making the catch.
I think there's a pick call downfield, so play's gonna go back.
Yeah, so Minninger with the disc once again. Going to Meda. Meda finding Reinken.
Really nice throw to the back corner there around the defenders for the assist. Judged weighted the disc nicely just over those two defenders, outreached her arms. Tough little corner to put it into a very nice throw. Not a whole lot the defense could do about that one. That's maybe what I was talking about on the last point, where just make them throw something a little bit harder, and I think in that situation they forced the Bobsleigh team to make a more difficult throw, and I think that's one of those where you can kind of accept those scores, maybe more than you could accept the last one. The last one seemed a little bit too easy in terms of just letting them beat them up line and open side, whereas this one they made them throw something difficult over two defenders into a slightly tight window for the score. So
nonetheless, Tim Burgel doing a great job making sure that that throw is received. And we are slowly but surely approaching half of the game. And Force Electro, second team, find themselves on offense once again.
Bit of a collision there in front of the disc. I think the offensive player was getting ready to catch it, and then he gets rear-ended by the player running down the pull. But a turnover anyway.
The players decide it did not affect the game. So Bobsleigh attacking upwind, but that one had gone out of bounds despite the contact that was maybe not necessary and could have been avoided from the force defender. But
yeah, initially looked like a really nice throw and then just drifted away. I think it would have required a pretty spectacular play to get a greatest there. I don't think he could have towed that line.
no called mate. Oh, and here is Bosman, who is Basham, which is probably not his name because I don't have him rostered. But that's what you get for wearing someone else's jersey. He's either way doing an excellent job for Bobsleigh. His name, not a real name, his pretend name being mentioned over and over. And here he is with the assist, number 36, sporting a black hat and some excellent O&D skills. And here is the jam, the violin taking us from the first half to the second. And Bobsleigh going up 7-1 over the home team, Force Electro 2.
Yeah, can just imagine the little guy now in the locker room dancing away to that one.
Short break for the teams and for us in the commentary booth as well.
Here we go.
This year, London Invite is bigger than ever, with 8 teams in the Open Division, 8 teams in the Women's Division, and for the first time, a full 8-team Mixed Division.
With 5 World Games teams, USA, Canada, Australia, Germany, France.
As well as the Tokai Super Team, is sure to be the ultimate showcase of the best in the world.
More teams, more streams, more stars, more ultimate.
More excitement.
You're not going to want to miss London Invite 2025.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
ULTI.TV bringing you the best coverage of European Ultimate. If you are a fan, become a patron and watch not only the free stuff that we put out regularly on our YouTube channel, but also some of the special extra content that is reserved for patrons only, just like, for example, some lovely London Invite games that are coming up next weekend. And as we experienced a huge layout bid from Force Electro trying to make their way up the wind to the end zone for another point for their team. They are currently losing to Bobsleigh, the also partially local team, but mostly a pickup team out of different countries and different players that have been organized by the organizers to fill up the men's or open division at this tournament. The Meda runs down that deep shot expertly, and they continue to move the disc quickly down the wind all the way into the end zone. That is lovely stuff out of Bobsleigh. I believe that was number 13 with the assist, Yannick Herberich.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate there for Force Electro. The actual deep shot upfield was really good. I think the offensive player just kind of misread it. It was pretty spot on throw, and then you get punished quickly, and that's what you can get punished quickly sometimes, and that's what happened here. Bobsleigh just down the field in a couple of short passes, and before you know it, you go.
And Julian Minninger with the score.
Yeah. So again, just a bit unfortunate there for Force Electro. It was a chance to get one of those upwinds. The wind seems to have died down a little bit now, but Sun is back, as our cameraman is letting us know.
We are in the second half of this open slot in the Rising division. We have one more streamed game for you after this one. This time from the teams that are high, meaning the high division of this tournament.
Yes, we are in the Netherlands. The teams
Where
that
you're
are high.
either high or rising. Force Electro with another turfed disc.
Train shot come in, cameraman excited again. I could see his giddy face just before he turned.
Hildo with a pickup for Bobsleigh. Decides again centering the disc. Looking for the man in the black hat. And a daring overhead shot. Overthrown, but it would have been a fun way to finish up that point with a score of Faba. But it will be Force Electro starting from the end zone line once more. If they can make it through the first half of the field, they will be going downwind. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you clearly haven't been watching the other streams where we have noted multiple times that the flags in the background are just going crazy. On one side of the field, they're blowing one way, and on the other side, the other. And they lose the disc on the first pass once more. Difficult to say whether the defense had a role in that, played a role in that, but it will be Hildo who picks up for Bobsleigh again. Oh, nice step around for that big backhand. And it's the man in the black hat once again getting the score for the team in white. And I'm going to just go ahead and run over and ask him his name. How about that, John? I just want to get in front of the camera.
Oh, very good. Off you go. Yeah, Hildo Village with the sister. I think I played with him a couple of seasons ago at a tournament. So a couple of good strong throwers on this Bobsleigh team. And yeah, again, for Force Electro, it's just one of those days. It's just a tough game. Like you said, this is their club's second team in the men's division, so a lot of their probable stronger players in these kind of conditions are likely to be on their first team. And when you factor in the wind, it just makes it for a very difficult situation to be in. And also, as I'm seeing a couple of the players on the Bobsleigh team throwing, I can tell that they have a bit more experience in these conditions, so everything is kind of going against Force Electro here. So I feel like if they could get one or two upwind points in total in this game, I feel like that would be a pretty good result for them. Obviously 9-1 down, I think we can rule out the major comeback, although I do believe in this stage of the games it's potentially finish ad one, because now it's technically knockout games, but I'm not 100% sure of that.
So I am back with some information, ladies and gentlemen. The man's name is Chabry, so I suppose either Belgian or French, difficult to say. Don't want to offend anyone. But we've got the right name. He's not on the roster, so maybe we should double check with Cedric later if he's paid his fees and if he's actually, supposed to be there, given how much of an asset he's been for this bobsleigh team. But I will have a little bit of time to catch my breath as Cedric is currently on the field, getting the disc tapped back into play. Force Electro heading upwind. High release backhand, interesting choice to the break side, but it works out nonetheless. Cedric gets it again, working with his teammates. He's getting every second disc, but this one too hard to handle. Too cold to handle, should I say.
He's doing it all there, scoobers and giving goals. Look, I was hoping he'd get another one there. Like we said, the organizer of the tournament, we hoping he can get a few moments of enjoyment out this weekend outside of the stress. And they get a chance here now on a short field turn right in front of the end zone. So let's see. He's walking to this one. I imagine he's going to want to just put it into the end zone rather than having more turnovers from short field throws and dumps.
So a disciplined setup in the middle of the end zone. He's gonna look for the up line. Oh, and smacked away by the slightly taller defender. Wasn't that much that Van den Akker could have done with that. Bobsleigh heading the other way. They choose the around towards the near sideline now. Minninger opting for the wide swing and force Electro slightly confused about where they're going. And before they can figure it out, that's a nice layout bid by Stebbins, but the disc just out of reach.
Poor guy, I was hoping he'd get that one. It would have been nice for them to get it. Just drifted away from him a bit, and like we said, they won't get too many chances at these upwinds, and he made the bid, he gave himself the chance, and it was close enough, just a bit unlucky.
Meda now looking for someone to bail him out. Oh, and Bobsleigh now struggling even in the downwind direction, something that we haven't seen so far from them. They've been, I feel like they were pretty steady in the downwind direction. So another chance for first Electro. This one's too high, and a bit of a miscommunication. Number 27, Yasunas, was thinking that there's probably someone behind him, maybe someone slightly taller, but it was only the Bobsleigh defender.
Yeah, another one of just a bit unfortunate. A good throw. I think he would have had to make a good grab anyway, but just a bit unfortunate. He thought there was someone else there, because maybe he could have give himself a chance to make a little highlight grab there in that corner against the defenders.
Minninger going through the break side to Meda. These two have also been quite productive for the bobsleigh side. Meda really wants that inside channel. He wants the deep shot. He puts it up, but the Force Electro defenders are ready, and they get there first.
Yeah, slightly further field to work with this time to try and score, but maybe third time lucky.
Good grab by Stebbins. But Van den Bosch not there, but defended immediately. Back by Stebbins, rectifying his earlier errant throw. And Cedric picks up the disc. He's calling for the up line. He gets it in the form of Van den Akker. And this one is way too far even for the long outstretched arms of Cedric. Meda finds Renken on the sideline, but in the meantime he gets it again. A nice matchup with Möllmann. And this forehand turfed again, and we really cannot blame it on the wind. It's currently the quietest it has been all day, I have to say.
Yeah, I don't think we can even say there's wind now compared to the rest of the day. At any other Ultimate tournament, we'd say there's a bit of wind now. But today we're going to say this is perfect conditions.
Perfect conditions. Oh, great grab, and both teams are just struggling in this point. And here is that big shot that Bobsleigh were looking for, and a sliding catch in the end zone. Lovely stuff out of number 6, Julian Minninger, with the score for Bobsleigh, and none other than Florian Meda with the assist.
Yeah, really nice way to throw it down for the receiver. A bit of an interesting approach to lead with your knee into the ground when he catches it. I thought he might have been a bit injured after it, but sometimes you just got to make sure you catch the disc. That's the best way for you, and he did that. He held on to it, got the score on what was turning into a bit of a messy point, so they're going to be happy to get that one. And Force Electro probably going to be just a bit feeling a bit unlucky not to have gotten one of those upwinds, as I think that's probably they had as many points or as many chances in that 1 point to score an upwind as they did in the entire game so far. So good to see both teams still putting in the effort to try and make sure that they can score every point, and that's what you want to see at the end of the day.
So Bobsleigh entering the double digits. So as our son would say, double digits, double digits. But still, we have the last quarter of the game ahead of us. There's Cedric throwing it into the traffic. So Bobsleigh are gonna go upwind, but that one is a little too short. So let's give it one more try. We hear some switching from Bobsleigh. That is a nice forehand shot, but not read well by Schäfer. He got confused by the positioning of his defender. Bobsleigh through the break side and another wobble on the disc. Lemut picks up. Looking for the break side, finds Hartmann, who in turn goes to Schäfer. And a nice, almost safe layout bid by Hartmann, but unable to hold on to. Oh, and here's the French sounding name that I have forgotten in the meantime. But he is striking deep and he is wide open. But the disc will not get thrown to him. Instead, they will activate the reset and the disc ends up on the ground and an injury is called. It will be a Bobsleigh player going off.
Player's just trying to figure out where he's supposed to go.
In the meantime, we can let you know that the next streamed game that's coming up, the last one of today from the high division, will be Panic Open, and then a team with a nice Dutch name that I get to butcher. De Jeugd van tegenwoordig.
De jeugd van tegenwoordig.
Yeah, it apparently sounds completely different when you pronounce it in Dutch. So I will just slowly walk over towards Milan, our lovely cameraman and producer, and he will say it in the mic for you.
De jeugd van tegenwoordig.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure everybody at home can now repeat that themselves.
Get some practice in. There's more Dutch teams coming up on the stream.
And we're just debating here on the field whether our tournament organizer has scored a goal or not. I think they're just trying to decide whether he was in or out or not. Can't tell from here, obviously, but I guess they're going to agree.
But a 2 looks better on the scoreboard than 1. That's the one thing we can agree on. And it looks like that's what the players on the pitch seem to think as well.
Go on, Cedric, boy. That's our man.
Force Electro making the scoreboard a little bit more in their favor.
They've halved the deficit. They had to score 10 times as many points to get the win. Now they only have to score 5 times as many points to get back into it. So
It's an upside.
yeah, we'll look at the positive side in that sense, that they've just halved the work they have to do. If you want to look at it from that point of view, you could say they have to get to 5 to do that, but we'll count it by multiples of how many times they're behind.
In any case, about 12 minutes left in this
9 to 20 bracket game.
9
so
to 20 bracket game. That's
winner
right.
of this game, which you would imagine at this stage will be Bobsleigh, will be playing for the 9th spot tomorrow, and the losers will go into a bottom 4 round robin to finish the tournament. But I'm sure they're more interested in the activities that are planned for this evening.
Bobsleigh setting up in a host stack and immediately striking with a deep shot. What a shot and what a grab. Hildo this time on the receiving end makes sure with a two-handed grab that this point does not take longer than necessary and takes his team to extend the lead to 11-2.
Yeah, good read by him there, a nice grab. Former one-time teammate, I believe we played together at Windmill a couple of years ago, back in my days where I was good at Ultimate. And yeah, nice guy, good grab, good thrower. And I think it kind of summarizes the kind of situation we're in here, where the Bobsleigh team just have a lot of experience in how to throw in these conditions, and it's just going to show, as we've said it in every game so far. The small advantage in the skills is going to lead to a big advantage in the scoreboard here, and it's basically been the case in almost every game today. I feel like we haven't really had that many games that have been close today. I can't even recall what do we even think was the closest game we had on the stream today. I feel like we've been a bit unfortunate in that almost every game we've streamed has basically been what would be a blowout in the EUCS season. So if you're looking for close games, I'm not sure the streams today are the best ones for it. But
we're saying hi to Mr. Hartmann, who is saying go Force, go Electro. Thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting your teams on the stream. We hope you enjoy the coverage of the tournament. We do our best, and the players do their best to work in these conditions. Here is Bill Hildo once again picking up for Bobsleigh, who are quickly making their way towards the end zone, and that is the pass that will not make it to the hands of the intended receiver. Smacked away by Force Electro. It is, I believe, Just Schäfer with the D there, making Mr. Hartmann's time worth watching. Oh, and that one was a bit too quick for Cedric. That's okay, buddy. You'll get it next time. We still believe in you. Little isolation play from Bobsleigh. Can they go all the way into the end zone? Yes, they can.
Hildo builds with another assist there. Nicely weighted throw. Made it look easy for his receiver to run out and grab it. Receiver, another grab where the receiver, it looks like they're leading knee first into the ground and potentially nearly injuring themselves, but another upwind. And we might have our first game that gets to cap. I think
right.
In this, there's still a couple of minutes left. I don't think we've had one team get to it today, despite all the games being very one-sided, or at least most games have been almost 10-point victories to one team today. So let's see if we can get our first team that can reach the cap.
Well, with Bobsleigh going downwind in this point, there's a decent chance, you're right. The first pass lands out of bounds. The receiver trying to still get it regardless.
Our cameraman got a bit of a fright there that the player just kept running out. He thought he was going to take the whole tendon camera set up with him.
Rankin centers the disc. And And here is the big put into the end zone. Intended receiver was probably Reinken himself again.
Yeah, pretty difficult throw there. If he had managed to get the angle on that one right, it would have been a nice little throw it into space into a very difficult spot for the defenders. But again, in these weather conditions, the wind's going to blow that down a bit faster, so you have to throw that a lot softer with a lot more spin. But I could see what he was looking for there, even though maybe on the camera you might say it was a bit of an ambitious effort. It probably was, but I like it when people can see those throws and those options and look to open up the field.
Van den Akker trying to go through the break side to Hoekstra. But the pass again lands far out of bounds. So potentially one pass away from scoring is the Bobsleigh team, and I was not wrong. They only take one nice around backhand to add another one to the scoreboard. And here is the 5-minute jingle.
I believe in these games it is finish at 1, so potentially we will get our first game that gets to 15 today if Bobsleigh can score this one. Well, if it's 5 minutes left, they might get more chances, but they'd be looking to do that to finish strong, finish the day strong. And for Electro, they're just going to want to try and get 1 or 2 more points on the board. It's maybe been a bit of a long game for them. It's probably been a long day, although maybe this is the best weather we've had all day, so perhaps they won't take it too badly that they just got to enjoy a game that was not raining the whole way through.
The pull lands out of bounds, so there is an option to take it from the brick mark, but it looks like Cedric will prefer the extra meters for his team. He puts up a deep shot. It is a visionary throw. This time we managed to keep it in bounds. Hartmann. He's got the disc. Struggling for options now. He does get it off. And it is collected by Schäfer. But
stall out call.
yeah, I am not surprised. That was quite a long time before the disc went up in the air. There will be a discussion about whether the word 10 has been said or not.
Yeah.
Even the T will suffice. And based on the hand signals that the teams have mastered, it will be a contested stall out. So only a few seconds to get the disc off from force. And they will manage. Van den Akker. Again looking for options. The disc is hanging. Schäfer doesn't get there. And no time is wasted by Bobsleigh, and that one was potentially another case of if this was the final, there would have been some layout effort.
I have to ask you, as someone I've never seen layout, would you make the bid in the final?
No, but I would have run it down for sure. Van den Werf continuing, big put, Hartmann underneath it, but pancake catch does not go according to the plan and is wobbled once more, and this time an uncharacteristic error by Bobsleigh as they lose the disc once more.
The disc is back in here. They're going to try and get this last downwind opportunity, last one for them in this game, unless they go on a big run. He's faking hammers. Inside break. Right in front of the end zone now. Can they get this last pass in? And just throws it into the defender. A bit unfortunate again. Nice around backhand. And Bobsleigh looking to work it here. They want to finish this game with an up and just a drop, but a slightly underthrown throw, just not able to get his full hand on it to hold on to it. Force Electro with another chance to score this downwind. Struggling for options. Gets it off Cedric. Fumbles it but holds on to it. And then fumbled this one but not able to hold on. This point now seeming to have a lot of turnovers compared to some of the other more recent points.
Let it go, Bobsleigh. It is the end of the time for this game. Will they finish strong or will they allow Force Electro? No, they won't. So that's another score. Bobsleigh finishing strong. The time is over. And it looks like the teams will not play out another point. Instead, they will shake hands, thank their opponents for putting in all the effort. As the sun smiles down on the teams, we are down to our last streamed game. It will be an open game again. We are looking forward to welcoming you in the chat on YouTube. We are streaming for free. If you want to support the free streaming of European Ultimate, please do become a patron for us. My name is Rachel Toshnerova and I was here with John Doherty and Milan on the camera. Thank you for tuning in. For now, we are checking out.